back to the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling, and this is a quick news break. So the news is official now. We do have it from the Warner Discovery upfronts that there is, all the rumors have been proven, well, most of the rumors have been proven correct. All Elite Wrestling will have a new show called AEW Collision. It will be on Saturdays at 8 p.m. on TNT. Now, there's a couple of things with this that I've already seen going around. No announcement of CM Punk yet. Brand split this, brand split that. Now, as of this recording, I don't go on speculation and rumors until the rumors are made official. All we know is there is a second show. All of this talk about brand split and who's going to be on what show and rumor, it's all rumors. All we know right now is that there is going to be a second show, and it will be happening at 8 p.m. Now, I would have preferred 6 o'clock, obviously, but there are reasons for that, why they can't do that on TNT. I've seen so many people say stuff. Now, the one thing I hear people complaining about is, oh my God, how can you watch a Saturday show? I'm going to be on the beach. I'm going to have to stop. I'm quoting somebody directly here. No offense to the dude, but I'll have to leave the beach and go and watch AEW Collision. Let's be honest about this. How many wrestling fans are really on the beach every single Saturday? Come on now. No offense, but it's just the truth. And everything about this too, especially with DVR now, it's another show that people are going to DVR if you are doing something on Saturday during the summertime. But let's be honest, it's not happening. But plus, this show will be featured on a lot of bars. You got to consider that too. Bars are going to be showing this show on Saturday nights. There's going to be restaurants and stuff, depending on if, how wide AEW's influence is in Warner Discovery. And there are some properties that are, I'm sure there are some entertainment venues that are open on Saturdays. There's going to be like, well, put this show on your TV screens. There's partnerships with a lot of places, a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars and venues that have that kind of arrangement of certain channels they show at certain times of the night when they have people there. So there's that. The other thing that's, again, I'm old school and we are a dying breed. Those of us who were watching wrestling before 1998, wrestling has been on Saturdays, was on Saturday night television, Saturday afternoon television for a very long time. Decades and decades and decades. You had wrestling on Saturday nights, whether it's Saturday Night's Main Event, the old World Championship Wrestling show. There are tons of other shows that have happened on Saturday nights. It is not a terrible time slot. It's just, again, we are living in Vince's world and the post-Monday Night War era. And Vince kind of knocked that out. Saturday shows, if you go back and look at the ratings for Saturday night wrestling shows, Saturday afternoon wrestling shows, they always did big numbers. You are dealing with a different era now, so you're going to have to kind of re-educate or un-brainwash a lot of the wrestling audience to get into a different habit. Their habit is that wrestling is on Mondays. Well, before Monday Night Raw, their habit was wrestling was Saturdays. So it's not that it can't change because it's a different era and a different time slot. It's just whether or not the wrestling audience can adapt. Now, that being said, today's wrestling audience has a very, very, very hard time with changing and adapting to things because they got used to the way things are and the way they were told the way things are supposed to be. So that could definitely be an issue. But over time, I think, if Collision's a good show and things happen that are important on there, it'll be part of people's regimen. And again, with the change in eras, we also have the addition of the fact that people will DVR shows. And I do predict that if Collision is a must-see show for AEW fans will DVR Collision, and those numbers will count as well. They do run into a problem with Saturday night pay-per-views. WWE running pay-per-views on Saturdays is going to be a problem for them. Obviously, the interruptions from lots of different sports when you're in NBA season, some other sports shows that TNT is contractually obligated to carry live. Collision will get preempted a few times, so that's going to be something as well. So I do think, though, that to really, the people that are jumping up and down about this stuff, you have to keep in mind, a lot of these people don't really know what they're talking about. A lot of these people, their mindset and idea of what wrestling are, whether they're aware of this or not, has been crafted by what WWE and Vince McMahon has established over the last 20 plus years. That's what they think that wrestling is, and the only way wrestling can be. What AEW here is doing once again is not only trying to change the dynamic, but also trying to do a callback to the way things used to be. And again, it's a different era. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work, but I do think it's not the worst idea ever for the people who think that. Now, as far as CM Punk and the Elite and all this stuff and the hard brand split, I don't even know why you would have to do that. You're just making sure that a handful of wrestlers are not on the same show at the same time. So if you really need to make sure that CM Punk and the Elite aren't on the same show most of the time at the same time, there's no reason that the Elite couldn't be on Dynamite one week and CM Punk is on Collision the same week, but then maybe the next week CM Punk's on Dynamite and the Elite go to Collision. You know, there's nothing that changed that keeps that from happening, so that there isn't this hard defined brand split or whatever. Now, maybe that's what they're going to do. That has not been 100% confirmed at the time of this recording, that these wrestlers are going to be on this roster and these wrestlers are going to be on another roster. I think that's definitely something that could possibly happen, but if I'm Tony Khan, seeing how hard a time WWE's had and even they're doing it again right now, how hard a time WWE has trying to keep their brand splits going, I don't think a roster split or a roster split at all makes any sense to do or is even necessary to do. We definitely don't need a second AEW champion, second tag team champion. We don't need to go down that road. Just have the MJF is going to be doing double duty, but that's part of that's part of what you do when you're world champion. That's part of the game. Now, you could specify the All Atlantic Championship might be on Saturdays, the TBS and the TNT titles might be on their specific channels. Maybe you only see Jade Cargill as TBS champion on TBS shows, and Wardlow's only on Collision, or whoever the TNT champion is only on Collision. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe the 6-man tag matches, the trios matches are more on Collision, where the World Tag Team Championship stuff is more on Dynamite. Now, I think in those respects, that's good. I think, though, even if there is a hard roster split, if you're saying, okay, we can now go further into storylines involving MJF and Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy, and we're going to focus on their storylines on Dynamite, and we're going to focus on a different set of storylines on Collision, I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea either. And again, you know, every season when you're going to your next pay-per-view, you could switch up the rosters a little bit, and you don't have to make it a big announcement or a big draft or anything else. You just set it up that way. I think it would make a lot of sense. So we'll see what goes on. And there's also other people who don't get along. I mean, Thunder Rosa coming back. Thunder Rosa, even though it's reported that she squashed the beef with the rest of the female roster, you know, her and Britt Baker not getting along. We saw that on AEW All Access. Keeping them separated probably won't be a bad idea either. And that's just the thing, you know, and this is nothing really new. WWF and the NWA and a lot of the touring companies back in the day, there would be, like, you know that there were multiple touring groups. Like in the 80s, the WWE, and in the early 90s, there'd be one group of WWF wrestlers that would do house shows over here, and this other group would do house shows over there. It's kind of the same thing. So I think a lot of the uproar in the wrestling community, and especially in the wrestling influencer space, is a lot of what to do about nothing. And again, it's not their fault really. It's just that they just haven't been around long enough as fans to have seen this already happen before. They're just used to the way WWE did it with splitting up Raw and SmackDown. So they think it's going to be the same way. It doesn't have to be. But those are my thoughts, very early thoughts on the announcement. Again, AEW Collision, brand new show on TNT, will be airing starting on June the 17th, I believe, on Turner Network Television at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to know what you guys think about this, though. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. And until next time, I'll see you guys here for more news, rumors, and commentary on the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.